Hello girls. Now we come to the second chapter in science, that is nutrition in animals. In chapter 1 we studied about nutrition in plants, where we studied about the plants which make food on their own through photosynthesis, and they are known as autotrophs. Whereas some plants, they depend on the other plants or the other organisms for food, and they are known as heterotrophs. Now, as the food is required by the plants for their growth and development, similarly, the food is required by human beings, by animals, by single-celled animals like amoeba, etc. Everything. Why? Because food gives us the nutrients, or food gives us the energy. And that energy, that nutrients are required for the growth and development. Now, the way the animals or the human beings take food, it cannot provide energy in the direct form. It has to be broken down so that the nutrients can be taken out from the food. So, the food has to be digested and absorbed by the different enzymes, and then the leftover waste has to be excreted out. So these are some important procedures which have to be followed, like digestion, absorption of the nutrients, and then finally excretion. So we will study about this nutrition and the different stages or the different processes involved in nutrition in amoeba, hydra, human beings, and ruminants. Ruminants I will discuss with you when we come on that. Okay. Now what is amoeba? Amoeba, they are single-celled aquatic organisms which depend upon the other microorganisms for food. Now, like human beings, we have thousands of cells inside a body, but amoeba has only single cell inside its body. Okay. So how does it takes the food, it digests the food, and then finally it excretes the waste. What are the steps involved in that? We will go through those steps. So first step is sensing the food. When amoeba, it senses its food, some microorganism is around it, it starts moving towards that microorganism. Okay. Now the second step is when it comes near to that microorganism, it takes out its finger-like projections, and these are called pseudopodia. Pseudopodia are the finger-like projections of amoeba which it takes out to engulf the food. Okay, it traps the food with the help of pseudopodia, and then the food enters into the body of amoeba along with a drop of water, and it forms food vacuole. Okay. In the food vacuole, the enzymes are produced which digests the food, and the essential nutrients are taken up by the body of amoeba. Right? Then finally what happens? Then the waste which is left over, it moves towards the edge of amoeba. Okay. And when it reaches towards the edge, it bursts out and it goes out into the surrounding. In this way, and that bursting out of the waste material through the edge of the amoeba is called ingestion. Ingestion means bursting out of the waste from the edge of amoeba after the food has been digested. That is the ingestion. So these are the 4 steps which are involved in the nutrition of amoeba. Now we come to the nutrition in hydra. Now what is nutrition? What is hydra? Hydra, it is an organism which is present in the fresh water, and it has some fingers like structures which are known as tentacles. Okay, it has various these tentacles all around its mouth. Here is a hole which is known as the mouth of Hydra. So what happens? It also feeds on the microorganisms which are present in the water. When any microorganisms comes near the Hydra, its tentacles, they capture that food, that capture that microorganism. Okay. And what happens? These tentacles, they are having stinging cells in them. What is the function of these cells? When any microorganism gets captured within the tentacles, these stinging cells, they paralyze the microorganism. So the microorganism now cannot move. It gets paralyzed and then it is taken inside the mouth where it goes into the central cavity of the body. Okay, in the central cavity, the enzymes are produced and which helps in the digestion of the food and taking the nutrients from the food. Whatever the left waste material is left, it is thrown out from the mouth only. Is that clear? That was the nutrition in Hydra. Okay, now girls, we come to the nutrition in human beings. Okay, the nutrition in human beings is a bit complex process. Why? Because there are different organs present in human beings, different systems which are present in the human beings. There is circulatory system, there is digestive system, excretory system, and various organs are involved in those systems. So the nutrition in human beings is a bit complex process as compared to the animals, or as compared to the amoeba, or as compared to Hydra that we have learned. Now, basically nutrition in human beings, it involves 5 processes. Now, what are those 5 steps or the five processes? They are, number 1 is ingestion. What do you mean by ingestion? In. The word in means that is simply taking in of food from mouth. That is ingestion. As simple as that. Second comes digestion. Now, what is digestion? Digestion is swallowing of that food and mechanical and chemical breakdown of food into simple soluble form. Various enzymes are involved in that, in digestion. What is happening? The food gets swallowed. It reaches to our to our stomach, okay, where various enzymes are there. It reaches to the intestines where the food is broken down into the simple soluble form. That is the digestion. Okay. Then third is absorption. What do you mean by absorption? Absorption is a process in which this digested food is carried to different cells of the body. Got it? And fourth is assimilation. What do you mean by assimilation? When this digested food reaches to various cells of the body, then those cells, they take energy from that food and that energy helps in performing the various activities. So that is called assimilation. Right? And finally is ingestion. Ingestion is whatever the waste material is left, the food that cannot be digested, that cannot be used, that becomes a waste material, and the coming out of that waste material from the body is called ingestion. I hope all the 5 steps are clear to you. Okay, now we will explain you the 5 steps in detail now. The first step was ingestion, that is taking in the food through mouth. Okay, now mouth has teeth also and it has tongue also. What do teeth do? Teeth, they help in chewing the food. Okay, and from chewing it gets converted into the simpler form that can be digested easily. So that is called the mechanical breakdown. Right? There are no enzymes being used during by the teeth. So it is only the mechanical breakdown, not the chemical breakdown of the food. Now the kind of teeth, we have incisors, We have canines, premolars and molars. Now what are incisors? Incisors are the front teeth. You all know them. Okay. And they are shaped like chisel. They are in the form of a chisel and they help in cutting the food. Got it? Okay. Then we have canines. What are canines? Canines are the sharp teeth which are present near the incisors. Okay. So, and they help to tear and pierce the food. They help in tearing the food. Okay. First, incisors. How many incisors we have? There are total 8 incisors. So, what are they? 4 on the top and 4 at the bottom. Okay. And now we are canines. We have 4 canines. That is 2 on the top and 2 on at the bottom. Then we come to the premolars. Premolars, they are the broad structured, flat structured teeth which are used for crushing the food particles. And there are total 8 premolars, right? And then we come to molars. Molars, they are found at the back of the jaw and they have broad and flat surface and with very strong roots. They help in grinding and chewing the food particles and there are total 12 molars. Okay, is that clear?